Okay, I'm at 7403 Brookstone Drive in Franklin, Ohio. Doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be concerning to the buyer. And so, just to show kind of what the layout here is, we have a couple stacks. There's one over there. Behind this, it's kind of hard to see, but there's one stack coming down, and there's another one over there on the other side of the basement, both against the wall. And so, and then there's, I'm standing over what is a backflow preventer. Normally these would be, basically it's to prevent, just what it sounds like, it's to prevent the line from backflowing if there is anything wrong with the sewer main or anything like that. It keeps the water from flowing back into the house or out of a floor drain. A lot of the newer ones are attached right before a floor drain so that the floor drain can't, so that if the line backs up for any reason, it can't back up out of the floor drain all over the floor. So in this case, I'm kind of wondering how this is set up. The floor drain is on the other side, and like it's pretty far away, and then you have a floor clean out right there. It's kind of hard to see, but that white thing. And so I took the cover off of this so that I could go both directions. And the problem I'm seeing is it looks like this flap is broken. This is what I found when I opened up the backflow preventer. And so you see that it actually hooks right here. It may not even be broke. It like notches in there, and it's just like a little flap, a little flapper, and you can see it laying here. And it's probably been laying here for quite a while. And so I am gonna get that out of there and see if I can repair it, but it's gonna be fairly tough because of where it is. And like I said, this may be just coming into the main line off of that floor drain. Like I said, a lot of times that's what they do, so it may only be the one line. But we're gonna try to take a look at that and see if we can. I may end up having to just go through the clean outs in the stacks and do the individual branches. But I just wanted to show that before I get started. So if the current owner has reported any issues, this might be something that this might be a possible cause. But I'm going to pause the video here. We're going to try to remove this flap and do what we can to rectify the issue, at least in this branch of the line, and see how it's laid out. Okay, so I was able to do that. There is some water flowing through here, so I'm assuming this is probably the condensate line just because of all the goo. It's usually something, the reason why it causes that is just all the minerals, because it's just pulling, condensate's pulling moisture out of the air, so a lot of times it has minerals in it. And so we're going to go downstream, but we're going to make sure this is all cleaned out. But you can see as soon as I go into it, this is where that other branch comes in. And so this will go out. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and we'll push out all the way to the main from here. Take a look at the line. This is where the floor clean out is that I showed you earlier. Right there. That camera lens is only about a half an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so that's not a concern. But you can see on the top of the pipe right there's a connection. It's kind of hard to see. I'm used to looking at it. But right in front of you on the top of the screen, so we're back a little ways. And now we are exiting the house. And so I'm going to continue. I'll push this all the way out to the main. And we'll take a look at the downstream stuff first. And then I'll go back upstream from here, and then if necessary, I'll go ahead and do the other two branches. It should all be PVC all the way out based off the age of the home. log line is looking really, really good. Okay, now we're dropping into the 6-inch, which is going to be basically where the municipality, or sorry, where the developer would have put the sewer mains in before any of the houses were built. They put the sewer mains in, and then stub pipe ups onto the properties, onto the individual lots. And then when the house is built, they do the interior plumbing, finish it up, and then the last things they do is connect on the outside between the house and this 6-inch pipe that is already stubbed up on the property. So, looks like we're coming right up on the main now. And it's a little bit, so you can tell about 80 feet, so it's probably possibly in the street. But at any rate, we know that the line looked really good all the way out to this point. And then I wish there was a stationary tub or something down here that I can run, but I think the laundry and everything else is upstairs. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. We're going to try to run a little bit of water down one of these other stacks before we make a move to inspect those. Okay, got the water running. Wait for it to make its way all the way down to the main, actually. So it's going to take a minute for the water to make its way all the way down. But we do this just to see functionality on the way, through the pipe as we pull back. I know that a lot of the plumbing has already been run during the whole inspection. There was I think the dishwasher was running also, so I'm not sure if I think it may have already discharged. But sometimes that helps get the water through there a little quicker. So all this is by gravity, so if the pitch is minimal, which is about 1% grade, or about an eighth of an inch per foot, which is roughly, it's like 96 feet for every 100, of length. You have about a foot of drop. So basically, a foot drop for every 100 feet of length. And so it's pretty flat. And so sometimes it takes the water a minute. There you go. So as we pull back, we're just looking for anything, watching the way the water reacts, making sure that there's no like really deep low spots or something like that. You'll find a little bit. You'll always find areas where it's got a little bit of extra water, maybe a half an inch or something, but make sure that you don't have any kind of major bellies or low spots. But obviously, we've already gone out through all this, so the line is really good. And with the water being run previously, it's would have left evidence of that. Like that. That's with the water running too. That's nothing. It's kind of the line changing pitch. Coming back up through here. There now. I'm going to see if I can go back upstream here
and see how far we can get. I said I believe some goo in there, but I believe that I'll try to get this kind of flushed out a little bit, because this should just go over to the floor drain for the condensate for the HVAC. And so it's always just kind of, can we build up? There shouldn't be a whole lot of stuff going through here. Coming from the other side. This should only be the floor drain. And again, that's just so, yep, and there we are. I can see the level. There's a water level there. And so I'll run my camera through it a little bit just to try to make sure that there's no buildup of material, because this is probably hasn't been draining real well. But so there's such a small amount of water that goes through this pipe. It goes through so slowly that that's what kind of happens, is it tends to build up. And so it's a good idea sometimes to just dump a bucket of water, or in a lot of cases, you're supposed to empty your hot water heater like once a year. Nobody ever does it, but down that floor drain, and that would help flush this stuff out. Structurally, there's no problem with the line, but it just kind of helps because, like I said, the water is dripping out of the condensate, and so it just doesn't get enough flow to push any debris, out of the line. And so that's where all that stuff builds up. But it's actually dropping now. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go up, turn that water off, and we're going to make a move to one of the stacks. But just wanted to say that by me, I will fix this. Doesn't look like the gate on that backflow preventer was broken. It was just somehow got knocked out, and it's probably been that way since it was put in, sadly. Or if somebody opened it up to look at it, they knocked the gate off, and so it was just laying in the middle of the line. And luckily it was a slow flowing line that just had water in it. But now it should be drained a lot better with that missing, so I would dump a bucket of water or something down in there just to flush it out. But anyway, I'm going to pause the video and make a move. Alright, so we made a move over to the stack next to the water filtration. And we're going to it's at the bottom of the steps. You come down the bottom of the steps, look to your left, there's a stack. And this is for the shared bathroom on the right side of the house. So this is the right side of the basement in the center. And so you can see right next to the filter here, we're going to go in and just run this over to where it exits the house. It goes through the other clean out, just to make sure that the line is good between here and there. Now the water's already been run through this, and so it would highlight any low spots that we would find. There's something coming in here to the left, and not really 100% sure of what that is as far as what it could be. Obviously the backflow preventer, unless it comes over from this whole line, I would think that if there was a tie in there, the only thing there would be a floor drain, the floor drain for the HVAC. But looks like there's something towards the front of the house, but I'm not really sure what that is over there. There was a small line coming in, could be a vent. Making a left, should be turning towards the front of the house, and then this is where the kitchen sink and the master bath comes through, where we were running all that water. And to show that, I'll go ahead and run the water again before I pull back. Okay, and then this is where we push through from the left, where that backflow preventer is. And so within a few feet, we'll be coming up on the on that clean out there in the top. There it is, right in front of us. And so you can see that's where we have inspected everything beyond this point. So a little bit of goo buildup. It's probably all that stuff I pushed through from the bathroom, or from the backflow preventer and all that junk. So, but you can see there's no damage or anything in that area, but a lot of times too, this is food from that kitchen line that builds up. But we'll go ahead and push that out of the way there. And I'm going to pause the video. We'll go run some water upstairs real quick. Okay, this should only take a second for this to show up. The line's pretty close. It's already starting there. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and run my camera through there and try to knock that stuff loose out of there just so it's not sitting there. Yeah, it just looks like food and stuff. There's nothing wrong with the line, it just sometimes some of that heavy stuff kind of sits there. Now it's all gone, I think. Yep, there we go. So after you flush the toilet a couple times, that'll be completely gone. See how the water level dropped when you get that out of the flow line? So it's probably all that goo that got dumped down from that condensate when I was pushing the camera through it. But you'll be able to see here in a second where the water comes in from that main line, or from the into the main line from the master bath and kitchen. They come together and come down that same stack. It's right there on your right. See the water coming in. So as we pull back, we'll just take another look at all this and here we are. So the line looked great. We made it all the way out to the main. We've done all the interior piping, including the separate line for the floor drain with the backflow preventer. I did reset the backflow preventer, put it in correctly, so it's no longer laying in the flow line. So that should help. But again, I mentioned earlier that you should probably go ahead and maybe dump a bucket of water or something down that floor drain to try to flush out some of that stuff that's been sitting in there for a long time because of the restriction of flow, because the backflow plate was laying down in the flow line instead of correctly installed. So, but all in all, the line looked great. Didn't see any defects at all. And so that's going to end the inspection at 7403 Brookstone Drive in Franklin, Ohio.